So not to pick on Indiana, but it wasn't just that you had it. It was that the state's defense was so pathetic and without any merit that once you were approved with such a weak case, every other state thought, well, that's easy. And so, yeah, it's now all over.
There was also voter suppression. Indiana was the original laboratory for autocracy there. I believe our voter ID law was the first in the country.
Yeah, I not to keep harping on poor Indiana, but it absolutely vote. You'd think now, and this is something that happens as we live our lives, is people's memories are short. Now the idea that you don't have voter ID, people will say, "Oh, that's terrible. How insecure was that?" Well, no one had it 20 years ago, and no one was running around hair on fire that people were showing up in voting in person fraudulently. In Indiana, it wasn't just that Indiana did it that got it started.
Hmm.
Indiana its case went to the Supreme Court. In the state of Indiana's defense of its voter ID law was so weak, they couldn't show any voter fraud in Indiana. And the weakness of their defense as a state was, in the end, really costly for the country because the Supreme Court said, you don't need to show voter fraud. Because if they hadn't have said that, Indiana would have lost the case.